This is my review of Bleach Chapter 54. Renji sees Ichigo's Shihakusho and inquires who he belongs with, and even remarks that his Zanpakuto is way too big for a Zanpakuto of a Shinigami. And Ichigo remarks that he always thought that his sword seemed large, but never had anything to compare it to, other than Rukia's sword. Renji then says that Ichigo must have a lot of power for his sword to be that size. And he identifies that Ichigo was the person who stole Rukia's powers, and then he threatens to kill him. Byakuya repeats Ichigo's name. The chapter cover is just of Ichigo looking. There's nothing much to say about it. Kon sits and he wonders about who Kisuke is, but he should already know because he's been around him. He dealt with him after he stole Ichigo's body and stuff. So, I get he doesn't know his history, but he knows that he's got some information. It's clear that he has some connection. Kon's sitting there and he picks up his body and he starts talking to it, and then he realizes he's talking to a stuffed animal. He throws it across the room and then he gets up and picks it up. It's kind of a funny gag, I guess. Renji starts slashing away at Ichigo, hitting him just in straight up and down kendo strikes. He's also taunting him, saying, I think something about why don't I use that big sword? Is that big sword not used for anything other than kind of something like that? And Ichigo thinks that Renji is extremely fast. Ichigo strikes. I think he does a downward strike, but Renji jumps over him and he draws blood out of his right shoulder. And it looks like Renji just cut the back of Ichigo's right shoulder here. And apparently that's enough, because he falls down, he's holding his shoulder and shit. And Renji says that the fight is over and Ichigo will die. So one cut across the back of his shoulder apparently is all it takes to put Ichigo down. Renji then says that Rukia's powers will return when Ichigo dies, and then she will also die. Again, weird given what we know about him later. And he begins taunting Ichigo for wasting the opportunity she gave him by sacrificing herself to them, because now he's going to die anyways. It's just weird. Seeing how Renji's going to be later, it's just weird. It's so different. He just comes off as a menacing, evil prick. Ichigo strikes Renji while he's talking. He's just sitting there talking. Ichigo swings up and he cuts his chin. And now his chin is bleeding. And he taunts Renji because Renji said something like, "You won't be able to leave a scratch on me," or something like that. And after Ichigo cuts him, he says, "Oh, a scratch. I won't be able to leave a scratch." Something like that. Renji gets frustrated, and then Byakuya remarks that Renji let his guard down. Renji's going to say something, and then Byakuya remarks that Ichigo Kurosaki was the name of the Shinigami that cut and defeated the Minos Grande, according to their information division. And Renji doesn't believe that because he doesn't think anyone, a normal human, could generate that much power. And he says that his massive sword is proof that he can't even control his power right. Ichigo's kind of wondering what they're talking about, and then he asks Ichigo what the name of his Zanpakuto is, and Ichigo doesn't understand, and he inquires that the Shinigami named their Zanpakuto, and Renji just kind of laughs and thinks he's an idiot. And then Renji releases his Zanpakuto, his Shikai, which is named Zabimaru, and its command is Roar. And he states that Ichigo is 2,000 years too early to fight him. Ichigo raises his sword to block as Renji leaps up into the air. And Zabimaru, this is another weird scene of it being drawn weird. As Renji comes down to hit Ichigo, Zabimaru, it's like segmented. It goes straight and then it hooks down, straight, hooks down, straight, hooks down. So that's how Zabimaru is segmented. The last segment is like on the sword. Ichigo's like this. And so the last segment is hitting it and it stops like right here to him. And then all of a sudden, Zabimaru is like over his shoulder, and it's stretched. It's extended rather, because that's its ability. Is it can extend and to like 20 or 30 meters or something. And he rakes Zabimaru across Ichigo's left shoulder. And Ichigo falls down, and then again Renji states that his opponent lost to him, and tells Ichigo that he will die. Byakuya is just watching, and then we come to Kisuke, and he's just looking off into the distance as the little corner thing. So this was a decent fight. It's pretty quick. It's going to be one-sided because it's an early fight. But the only thing I really want to criticize is just that one scene where Zabimaru obviously is on Ichigo's Zanpakuto, and then all of a sudden it's over his shoulder. That just doesn't make any sense. And they don't fix it in the anime either. It's just a weird scene. But besides that, the fight's decent. It's just an early Bleach fight. So it's not like there's going to be massive back and forth. And Kubo wasn't going all out just yet.